aspect I would say is that forget about your profile, forget about the uncontrollables, because I see a lot of people getting hassled about, okay, 988, 989, etc., etc. Focus on the process, focus on one question at a time. I think that was the biggest learning for me. One question at a time, tackle it. You can't tackle it, move forward. Forget about, don't aim for a score. I think that is another mistake I made. So again, I
Mhm.
think it would be a combined answer. Don't
Mhm.
aim for a score. So in first preparation, I was like, okay, I need 99.5, but
Mhm.
that
So, hi Ishan, nice to have you on our channel. So, before we get started and talk about your journey, can you please tell our viewers something about yourself, your profile, how many times you've taken CAT, so that they can understand your journey?
Right. So first of all, I'm glad to be here and share my experience with whoever is watching. So I'm an engineer, and as of today, I have 22 months of experience. I'm a 2023 grad, and apart from that, this last year, 2024 CAT was the third time I've undertaken CAT. So it's been kind of a long journey. And apart from that, I think I'm very passionate about cricket, and finance is something I enjoy. And that was one of the reasons I actually wanted to get into management, get into MBA, and yeah, that's been my journey till now.
Okay, great. So, how much did you score in your 10th and 12th?
Right. So my 10th board was ICSC. I scored a 96.67, and in 12th I had a Maharashtra state board, so I scored a 80 in that.
Okay, good. And your graduation, how much did you score there?
8.45 was my CGPA.
Okay. So your profile is like pretty balanced. It is 988, which is a good profile. Very nice. And you have 22 months of work, so ideal profile. So now coming to your CAT journey, when was the first time you have taken CAT? This was in CAT 2022, right?
Yes, CAT 2022, and
Okay.
yeah, it's
At that time,
the
you're
third.
still a student in a college, right?
Right. So that was my last semester. Yes.
Okay. So how did you prepare for the first time?
Right, sir. So first time, sir, as for all aspirants, it was a difficult aspect to understand where to begin. So I took video recordings, and
Mhm.
because I had to be on campus, COVID was done by then. So I tried to manage with video recordings on the weekend and
Mhm.
balance it with academics and placements which were going on back then. So I
Mhm.
would say it was a good effort, but
Mhm.
definitely there was more which I could put in that year of preparation, which I
Mhm.
thought I would cover in the next year, but
Mhm.
primarily video series and primarily few mocks which I could take over the weekends.
Mhm. So the first time you have taken CAT, you would, in a situation, if I were in your shoes, I would not be demotivated. I would be pretty happy. First time you have taken CAT, you scored close to 99 percentile. You have a job, your profile is good. So then you would be looking forward to taking CAT again, right?
Right. So in 2022, I'd actually ended up converting XLRI HRM,
Oh,
and
really?
at that, like you said, because there was so much to look forward to with a
Mhm.
job and probably a bit more, like I could go for something higher probably.
Mhm.
I think that was the mindset back then, that let's work for a while,
Mhm.
reconsider joining MBA at that point in time, and that is why I
Mhm.
attempted 23 as well then.
But that's a big step, no? Like not joining Excel, if you have converted it, is also a slightly risky decision, no?
Surely, sir, and that's exactly what my father told me as well, and
Huh.
he kind of made me rethink my decision many times. But at that
Mhm.
point in time, I think I made up my mind that I probably want to give another shot at ABC. And again, I was working in Bangalore. I had my friends who had set base there as well, so I think that path seemed a bit more um,
Mhm.
something which I would like to do at that point in time.
Mhm. One thing that many people don't know is Siley converted XLRI the first time and she didn't join it. She got XLRI BM, but
Okay.
then she took CAT again to get into A. Now, many people, I don't think she has ever spoken about it, but at that time there was like a lot of discussion in her family that, okay, no, you should join Excel. It's a very good college. Like a lot of relatives came to convince her, all of it, but she was like, her mind was made up that she wanted to take CAT again because she was also in a similar situation. No? She also had a good academic profile. She also had a job and she was a fresher. So at that time, she felt, okay, I don't have a lot to lose. So yeah, good decision. Risky decision, but good decision. So then
Right.
you started preparing again. So what did it change when you started working? How was the CAT preparation different as compared to as a student?
Right, sir. So for 2023, again, I thought I would be able to balance the job with the preparation. And I think that is where I kind of overestimated the time and my capabilities at that point in time. I mostly took mocks at that point in time because I felt I've cleared the base understanding of the concepts in 2022. So I
Mhm.
took a lot of mocks, but that is where the fault lay. and that is what I rectified in 2024. But yeah, primarily I think it was difficult to manage with a new city, new surroundings. I think it did become slightly challenging to find
Mhm.
that time, and especially that focus time where you
Mhm.
can leave everything aside and just focus on CAT. So it definitely
Mhm.
was a challenge.
Mhm. So what went wrong? In CAT 2023, you actually scored lesser than CAT 2022, right? So something didn't work out. So it is just that a new city and your preparation didn't go well, or was there any issue with the exam day itself also?
Right. So I wouldn't completely put it to the job or the city. I think like I mentioned, because I had studied the one leg in 2022, I thought of felt that okay, I just need to do mocks and analyze, and I think my preparation became overtly superficial in 2023. That is the
Mhm.
learning I took the last year, and I
Mhm.
think I was just not as into it as I would like to be. So I
Mhm.
think I faltered again on the exam day.
Mhm.
Both 20 and 23, it was actually DILR which pulled me down, and
Yeah.
that was another learning I took forward for
Mhm.
last year's prep. But primarily, I think I overestimated what I knew from 2022
Mhm.
and didn't actually focus on strengthening my fundamentals as much as I would have liked.
Mhm. Now that you're talking about DLR, I just saw your profile. You scored 70 DLR in CAT 2022, 81 in CAT 2023, and you scored 99 plus in DLR this time. So something definitely worked out, right? So what do you think actually worked out? In DLR, what did you do? Because getting 99 in any section is not a joke. Having taken CAT enough times, I know that if somebody is scoring 99 in a particular section, something worked out well. And to increase from 70 to 99 is a very proud achievement. It's something that I think you should feel good about. But I want to know, what did you do to actually improve so much?
Right, sir. So first, sir, it was about introspection on why that section is being my nemesis, why I'm not able to crack it. And what I realized last year was that I was not able to kind of pick the sets. And second, I didn't think I had that kind of a muscle memory to tackle sets in an exam scenario. So those were the two problems which I identified. And once I made that honest assessment, I spent a lot of time practicing various sets. But my main takeaway last year was that what happened in 22 and 23 was if I was attempting a mock and I didn't get a set, I don't think I analyzed the sets which I left as well as I should have. And if something seemed too hard, I would just make the assumption, okay, this is not going to come in CAT. And I think that is where the mistake lay. Last year, what I did, even if a set seemed very hard, I would sit with it for an hour, 2 hours, just trying to break it down. And eventually, even if I did get it or not get it, I had to see the solution, but it kind of built that muscle memory.
Correct.
And I again with Cracku, it helped me differentiate or break down different kinds
Mhm.
of sets into various groups. So you have that starting point on how to attempt a set if it looks familiar. And
Mhm.
then what happened with CAT 2024, again the authorities played that googly where instead of four you had five sets.
Yeah.
And I kind of made up my mind that okay, I'm not going to go in with a fixed mindset that okay, I have to do 2 out of 4 sets. And that kind of helped me in the eventual paper because
Mhm.
I was slot one, and that was considerably on the easier
Mhm.
side as compared to the other two slots. And
Mhm.
because I didn't have that fixed mindset and I had practiced enough, I was able to
Mhm.
go for that fourth set and
Mhm.
make 2 out of 4 questions. And I think that eventually pushed
Yeah.
not just my TLR but my overall score enough to get the calls I
Mhm.
needed.
Very nice. So again, coming back to your CAT 2023, you took CAT again. This time you actually scored lesser. And then did you did you like feel bad, or did you get to hear a lot of stuff from your friends or family that, okay, you should have joined XLRI, or were there self-doubts in your head, or how was it at that time?
Right, sir. More than others saying anything, I think it's a self-reflection that okay, I took the decision to let go of Excel and I gave it
Mhm.
the second shot and it's
Mhm.
not worked out. So you have those self-doubts that am I made for this?
Mhm.
What is the guarantee of sorts that okay, the third time something will change? So
Mhm.
definitely so that self-doubt creeps in. And
Mhm.
funnily enough, my two flatmates who were with me in Bangalore, both of them converted IIM Calcutta.
Oh,
So
really?
that put me in an even murkier situation. I'm like, okay, I prepared with them, and
Uh-huh.
they've got to, and I've kind of
Uh-huh.
deteriorated in my performance. So I
Uh-huh.
think, though, again, jokes now, but at that point in time, it
Yeah,
did
yeah.
play on my. But I knew that I had a goal, and probably
Mhm.
this would be the last shot, and I kind of
Mhm.
gave it my all to ensure that okay, I'm leaving nothing on the table.
Mhm. Very nice, man. That also would have been inspirational for you, know, if somebody well, okay, if they're going into a big institute, because many times what I see is many of these institutes seem like too big. Okay, we don't believe on some level that okay, they are such hallowed, august institutes. Okay, so they become too big, and we stop having the confidence that they're actually just institutes, good institutes. People who go into them are also human beings like us. So
Right.
once somebody does something great or something big, you also feel that okay, even I can do it. Did you get that kind of a sense after your flatmates went, or anything like that?
Absolutely, sir. And they were very close to me as well.
Mhm.
And I think it just paves the way for you. Like you rightly said,
Correct.
it makes
Mhm.
you believe that, okay, they've studied with me, they have similar profiles. And if
Mhm.
they can get that score, they can do well in the interviews. There's no reason why any of us
Mhm.
can't. So I think
Mhm.
definitely I'll give a shout out to Harish and Shitaj, who are now going to be my seniors in IIM Calcutta. So looking forward to that as well. But definitely, so I think someone close to you going through
Mhm.
definitely breaks that mental barrier more than anything else.
Mhm. So coming back to your preparation for CAT 2024, so what exactly did you change after CAT 2023's debacle? What exactly did you change for doing well in CAT 2024?
Right. So I went back to the basics of practice more than anything else, and that is where Cracku really helped me, especially July onwards.
Mhm.
So study room is something which I really utilized a lot, and
Mhm.
with study room again, it came down to certain topics, certain subtopics, which in mocks I would probably leave or again get it somehow, but not really know what's the fundamental knowledge or fundamental concept behind that. So study
Mhm.
room really helped me. And second, so I think a very underrated offering of Cracku is the daily targets. And
Mhm.
why daily targets helps is because, okay, I have had a longer journey, but even if it's your first year of
Mhm.
preparation, there will be days where you don't feel like sitting on the table and
Yeah.
solving sets or
Mhm.
solving RC. And at
Mhm.
that point in time, when you have good quality questions, which you can probably solve in 15 to 20 minutes,
Mhm.
it doesn't break that rhythm and you feel okay, I'm still in the prep. Because
Right.
once you miss out on prep for 2 3 days, it's very difficult to get back. And I
Mhm.
think daily targets really help me where I'm like, okay, I just don't feel like doing anything today. I would
Mhm.
try and book 15 minutes somehow and
Mhm.
keep going. I think those two parts, especially
Mhm.
from Krakow, helped a lot.
Mhm.
And third, I think again hindsight bias as well probably, but I became a lot more process oriented in the sense that okay, I'm getting a score, but is there incremental learning from what I
Mhm.
gave in the last mock? And just as a matter of fact, I did not score in terms of raw score, I did not score as high in any mock. It just came through all together in the final paper because I had built on the learning. So again,
Mhm.
mocks are very important, but I think like you've also mentioned in so many videos, there is the score, but
Mhm.
what is the learning which you're taking from those mocks is
Mhm.
extremely. So I think these two three parts, and again,
Mhm.
so nobody can deny there has to be some luck on your side. I
Yeah. Yeah.
think gave I think slot 1 and 23 as well, and it was a
Mhm.
very difficult, at least for me, DILR
Yeah,
with
yeah,
the
of
visa
course.
number,
Uh-huh.
it gives me nightmares till today, sir. But and this time slot 1 ended up being on the slightly easier end.
Mhm.
So again,
Mhm.
you do your best, you put in your efforts, and then just hope things go your way on the D day.
Mhm. One other thing is on the day of the examination, you are slot one, right? So, and the paper was considerably easier than 2023. So, how did you react to it? Did you realize immediately that the paper is easier, or did you realize it after coming out? What were your thoughts when the paper actually started?
Right, sir. So, with regards to the sections, VRC did not, at least, it never actually feels considerably easier or harder for me when I'm giving a paper.
Right.
So, that
Mhm.
was the normal approach which I do.
Mhm.
DLR, like I mentioned, definitely, as soon as I saw the sets, I knew, okay, this is not a 2 out of 5 set game. You
Mhm.
have to push harder. And because I'd already built that mindset, okay, I'm not going to go fixed. If it's very
Mhm.
hard, I'll just do one. If it's easier, I'll go for three. So that helped me. I identified it and I was able to push through. Quant again, slight. I think again, 2023 was an anomaly.
Yeah.
So you kind of did expect that the level hopefully should
Mhm.
be on a median basis. And again,
Mhm.
so the attempts did go up. And I think that happens when you attempt enough mocks and you
Mhm.
have your practice. You're able to identify very quickly, okay, what kind of a section you have here to play with. And
Mhm.
definitely, so that did help me identify and attempt more and
Mhm.
accurately as well.
Okay, very nice. And once the scores came, how did your interview preparation start? What did you do? What do you think? You converted most of the calls, right? That you had, or did you miss out on any of the calls?
Right, so I did convert IIM Calcutta, FMS, and SP Gen Finance, which was my first preference. I was waitlisted for XLRI,
Mm-hmm.
XLRI, and I'm in the top 25% quartile for ISB. Why?
Okay.
So these are my top 5 calls. So yeah.
Mhm. So you said
Yes,
you
sir.
have
So
done well in interviews also, right? Do you think there was something that you have done which, because most of the things you have converted, it was not like, okay, some of the people who with high scores also, I see that they struggle to convert, and your score is pretty good, 99.81. But I know that amongst the IMC shortlist, it would be not very high, correct? Because I know some people with 99.75 at all who didn't get a shortlist. So, but you managed to convert it quite comfortably because you converted many of the others also. So I'm assuming your interview went well. What I want to know is, what did you do for your interview preparation? Was it just that you are good with people, or was there anything that you did which you think helped for the interviews?
right, sir. So, like I mentioned, sir, once the score came in, I knew that okay, now is probably the harder part because it becomes more subjective. Here, you are dealing with a panel who has no idea about you, and you have to convince them that you are worthy of their esteemed institute in 15 to 20 minutes. So a lot of preparation went in. I think, firstly, just getting everything about myself, going back to school, what I have done, what are my values, what I stand for. So all of those, knowing myself very well, started with that. And then so a lot of theoretical preparation. So I'd been working in more of a client role, and I've done my engineering in IT, so those subjects were kind of alien now to me. So I had to go back and kind of so my first interview was actually IIM Cap, and in that they asked me a pretty straightforward C++ question, and I was not up for it, and I had my IIM Calcutta interview 15 days later, and I knew, okay, this is not going to work. So I
Mhm.
put in a lot of effort, got my graduation, understood what I'm working, where I'm working, the history, background, everything. And I had actually built out an entire notebook, if you could say,
Yeah.
where everything, my grad, work experience, values, and again, I've cleared the CFA level 1 last year. So
Mhm.
that was another kind of topic I opened up to them. So
Mhm.
revising all core finance topics, and that's
Mhm.
all the current affairs. I think that is the most challenging
Mhm.
part, and that is something which came a lot as well, because at
Correct.
that point in time Donald Trump was really in a mood of his own. So just to
Yeah.
keep up with all the things happening on a day-to-day basis. And
Mhm.
so a lot of, I would say a lot of, actually I think 6 to 7 mock interviews as well. And
Mhm.
in this also, my friends from Calcutta helped me. They set up
Mhm.
interviews with their friends who had
Okay.
given the last year, so they knew where IIM Calcutta
Mhm.
might target. So a well-rounded preparation, and definitely a lot more, I would say, cumbersome than CAT, because with CAT, okay,
Mhm.
I need to practice, I'll
Correct.
analyze, and it's a back and forth. Here,
Mhm.
with every interview, your emotions are up and down.
Mhm.
You don't know
Mhm.
what you're going to be asked. And luckily for me, IIM Calcutta and FMS were pretty much smooth interviews. They focused a lot more on the forms and the SOPs,
Mhm.
and again, more on me and my interests, a bit on
Mhm.
current affairs. Absolutely no graduation. Probably that is one reason I was able to do well in those. But
Mhm.
yes, it was a highly enriching experience and lot to learn.
Correct.
So yeah, that's my
Yeah.
interview prep.
Very nice. In general, also, what I tell people is the interview process is basically a step towards your MBA also. Because in your MBA, you will learn a lot of ways in which you have to build your own brand. You have to basically sell yourself. Okay. You have to convince people that you are a trustworthy guy, all of these things. That actually starts before MBA starts itself, in the interview process. It just continues in the MBA. Okay. So I think you have already realized it, which I think is a good thing. So, very nice, Ishan. Before ending the interview, I wanted to ask you two things. This I ask in every interview. Basically, one thing that you think you did well, which you want the future aspirants to do, and one mistake that you made, which you don't think future aspirants should do.
Right. So because I've had a couple of different preparation experiences, I think most important aspect I would say is that forget about your profile, forget about the uncontrollables, because I see a lot of people getting hassled about, okay, 988, 989, etc., etc. Focus on the process, focus on one question at a time. I think that was the biggest learning for me. One question at a time, tackle it. You can't tackle it, move forward. Forget about, don't aim for a score. I think that is another mistake I made. So again, I
Mhm.
think it would be a combined answer. Don't
Mhm.
aim for a score. So in first preparation I was like, okay, I need 99.5, but
Mhm.
that percentile is not in your hands. What is
Correct.
in your hands is, can you answer the next question or not. So
Mhm.
and also, again, one more important thing I would want candidates to do is, um, try and be relaxed, in the sense that don't put all your eggs in one basket. I think that really
Mhm.
kind of took the pressure off me in the third preparation as well. That I knew
Mhm.
I had a very very good job, a role which I enjoyed, and a
Mhm.
great company I was working in. So I think again have options, because if you don't have options, that pressure will just eat into you on the D day, and it's very difficult to then perform under that kind of pressure. So I think
Correct.
yeah, so these things, if I
Yeah.
can pass on, I'll be glad. Yeah.
Very nice. One last thing is you mentioned Cracku helped you, right? So can you tell me what are the aspects of Cracku that you really liked?
Right, sir. So, like I mentioned, so first and foremost, study room. It
Mhm.
has a great quality of questions across topics and subtopics with video solutions. I had taken the crash course around July, and
Mhm.
all my doubts were getting solved with that. The
Mhm.
daily targets again very helpful in maintaining that rhythm, and I
Mhm.
think mocks as well. The analysis of the mocks was very interesting as
Mhm.
to how much time has elapsed since you attempted 10 questions, 15 questions.
Mhm.
You can actually pinpoint on the kind of questions you are taking a lot of time on.
Mhm.
And I think apart from that as well, sir, the marathon series which you did, I think in the
Mhm.
last month, I think
Mhm.
I ate into that completely, especially for quant, because
Mhm.
with quant tend to feel okay. I know these concepts, but
Mhm.
when you actually solve, you realize okay,
Mhm.
there might be a gap there. So all your marathon series and the fact that you put it out on YouTube, so I think that is
Yeah.
what kind of makes Cracku stand apart from the rest of the
Mhm.
providers. And very
Mhm.
glad, sir, I think very glad I could be a part of the Cracku
Mhm.
team and played a huge role in ensuring that I am where I am today.
Yeah. Very nice, man. Very nice talking to you. I know that the next 2 years will be like a roller coaster, which you'll enjoy thoroughly. Just ensure that you study also well. Okay. This I tell everyone. I'm not just telling you because many people tend to underestimate the importance of ACADS in MBA. It is super important. It is the most important thing. Okay. Which I'm sure your flatmates and your seniors will anyways tell you. But because you're going to answer, I just wanted to like remind you once again. Okay.
Definitely, sir. Definitely.
Cool, man. Very nice talking to you, Ishan. Okay. All the best.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Bye bye.